Namaste everyone. Welcome to the session of Indian approaches to psychology. So before going to the session, we can check the learning outcomes. First one is we can identify the difference between Indian and Western psychological principles. Second one is the identification of role of mind and consciousness in shaping thoughts and behavior. The third one is the mind body system. By understanding the Purusha and Prakriti, how we can observe the changing our mind and body system. Fourth one is understanding how mind works with Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara, and Siddha. And the last one, recognition of how our mental qualities or gunas influence our personality, mood, and behavior. So, what is Indian psychology? Indian psychology is the philosophically based formation of Indian principles to understand our mind and find peace through this psychological belief system. It helps us to become calm, kind, strong, and wise. Its goal is not just happiness, but freedom. That's a liberation from all the sufferings. So, what's the difference between Western and Indian psychology? The Western psychology basically studying behavior, thoughts, and feelings. But Indian psychology studies how to make the mind peaceful and free. So Western people thinking like how we act. But Indian philosophy or psychology focusing more on how truly we are. That's we are looking into the Atma, to our inner self or the inner light. Sankhya philosophy is the basic of Indian psychology. So Indians from traditionally, from our first counselor Krishna, we are basically following the Sankhya philosophy. That is, we have two parts according to Sankhya, the silent you and the active you, the inner you and the outer you. So Purusha, Purusha is the silent you, the inner self. And Prakriti is the busy world or the actions happening from outside or anyone else. So these two parts will help us to understand why we feel happy, sad or scared or happy. Why? That the answer of why will give by the Sankhya philosophy. Then we need to look at the deep of Purusha. What is the silent you the Purusha means? Purusha is your inner light. It only watching, that is observing, but never gets angry or scared or any other feelings. Just observing which all are the things happening around you. Actually, the real Purusha never changes, and it will never get disturbed. It will stay always calm, quiet, and will observe which all are the things happening around us. For example, it's like a calm sky. Behind moving clouds. Lots of clouds will be moving here and there, but the sky will be the same, the still. So it's pure awareness. According to the Samkhya philosophy, Purusha means the pure awareness, the still mind which observes everything happening around us. For another example, suppose you are sitting in a cinema. You are watching the movie, but you know you are not the movie. You are watching the movie as an observer. Not we are going into the cinema. So Purusha is the watcher inside you. We may cry or we may become sad. So for some people after watching cinema, but still we know we are not the cinema or we are not the person inside the cinema. So like that, our inner self, the Purusha, also acts like a observer. Then the second thing, the active word, Prakriti. That is the keep always keep changing. your body, thoughts, emotions, body, senses, all everything around the world is changing actually. It changes all the time. Like the waves of the ocean, always coming and going. It's never ending actually. So, the Prakriti is the active, colorful, and noisy world with full of movement. Thus, the Indian psychology or the Sankhya principles giving answer to why we suffer. When we start thinking like I am the mood, rather than you act as an observer, then the sufferings will happen. Rather than thinking like anger is happening, something bad is happening, some scary things are happening. If you start thinking like I am angry, I am scared, I am bad, then you will suffer. So, we need to follow the Purusha effect. Like you are the viewer. Hmm? You are the sigh of emotions, not you are not the cloud. You need to stay still, whichever or whatever happened around you. We can't actually move into such a stage at a single step, but we need to practice. We need to learn or understand the Sankhya principles and we need to practice. Then only we can achieve that stillness. So, we don't need to mix the Prakriti and Purusha. If we start mixing the Prakriti and Purusha, suffering will happen. Whenever the anger is happening, you need to think like anger is happening rather than I am angry. So, suffering, ultimately the suffering happening when we forgetting the Sankhya principles. So, always if we practice to follow the Sankhya principle, the sufferings will become. So our Prakriti has actually four elements: Buddhi, Ahankara, Manas, and Siddha. Our inner instrument, another name is Antakarana, inner instrument. So that consists of four elements, like the Lego blocks we are using to build buildings or some miniature buildings and miniature vehicles, people, cities. So like that, these blocks together forming our inner self. So our mind is like a small team working inside. Mind is not a single person. According to Indian psychology, mind consists of lots of parts that together working to keep a balance. So Manas is the helper who takes messages. Manas is the helper who takes the messages and Buddhi, one who makes decisions, and Ahankara, as the word mentions, Ahankara is the I. I make. And Siddha is the memory or storehouse. So going into details of the Manas, the messenger, it receives signal. Actually, that's like sensation. It receiving senses as signals like sound, touch, taste, vision. And it says like, oh, this is it. It's giving meaning. Actually, oh, what is this? Should I look? Should I touch? That kind of messages actually passing through the manas, sensing it and giving meaning to it. Then buddhi. Buddhi is the final decision maker. Buddhi decides what is right and what is wrong according to that particular mental state. It chooses should I shout, should I stay calm, should I share, everything. Manas is giving the message and Buddhi deciding. Then Ahankara, the I. Ahankara says that this is me. I am smart. I am angry. But sometimes it confuses us and it makes us to think we are only our thoughts. We are not the only thought. We have our dharma. We need to do our karma. We are not only Prakriti. We are the Purusha and Prakriti. Every person is both Purusha and Prakriti. So not only we need to focus on the I factor. You need to act selflessly. Don't become more egoistic or more selfish. We practice to believe in the Brahma principle. Everything around you is single person. Sita is the memory box. Sita stores all experiences, all our fears, all happenings in our life. So these memories will shape how we need to react to a particular situation. So as we all know, our memories, our own experiences forcing us to act like something. So Chitta is the memory box according to the Indian psychology. Then how these, as we explained earlier, it's like Lego blocks. So how these small parts of our Andakarana work together. For an example, if you are seeing an ice cream, Manas will notice it. And Ahankara wants it. I need it. Okay. Then Siddha will remembers the taste. Oh, it was good. Oh, it was cool. Then Buddhi will decide if it's okay to eat or not. So that is how the processing of things happening inside our Antakara. Then we are going to the Trigunas. Triguna. So inside our mind, according to Indian psychology, we have Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Three forces. Three forces of our mind are Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Sattva means the light and calmness, positive energy. Then Rajas is the activity or restlessness. Then Tamas is the laziness and confusion. So positive to the negativity. All these factors are there inside our mind. But what we need to do is to keep a balance between all these things. Nobody is completely good, nobody is completely bad, but we need to keep a balance. For example of these three gunas are Sattva means sitting quietly and smiling, not doing anything harm or anything else to others. Then Rajas means jumping around, talking fast, like our activities. Then the Tamas is the sleepy feeling. Don't have they feel like don't have energy. I don't have to work. No, they are not at all interested in anything. They don't want to move from where they are sitting or standing or sleeping. Whichever things they are doing, they need to follow that same thing. They don't want changes. Just somehow they need to live and that's all. Other than that, they don't need anything else. So people with high tamas energy will be very difficult to handle. But if there is a balance between these three gunas, then almost we can manage. Then the goal of Indian psychology. Which all are the goals of Indian psychology? To make the mind full of sattva, calm, clear, and bright. To understand I am Purusha, not my thoughts. And to live with freedom. These three are the main goals of Indian psychology. We need to fill our mind with more light, the sattva factors or the positivity. And we need to understand we are not the problem happening around us. We are just an observer. And we need to attain that freedom or liberation. So Indian psychology also giving us some practices. Through practicing all these things, we can transform. According to Indian psychology, we can transform if we practice meditation, breathing exercise, kindness, and self-inquiry. We need to meditate by focusing on something, whichever thing that you can listen. Then breathing exercise by following your breath, focusing on the flow of your breath and focusing on the fullness of your breath like that. Then kindness. Practicing kindness is actually one of the best practices according to Indian psychology. Then self-inquiry. Who am I really? If you start asking these questions against and again, then you may get an answer. Like I am also a part of this Brahma, like any other people. By avoiding the ahankara, the I factor, we will realize like who we are after questioning again and again. Then the conclusion of all these things like we need to understand you are not the anchor. You are not the you are not your fear. You are the silent, bright, awake, watching everything as an observer. You are the person. And if we practice these things, we will get enlightenment, the liberation. This is the heart of Indian psychology. So references are here and video links are here for any other doubts and all. So that's all. Thank you all.